G'day everyone, today we're going to Kroombit Tops to see a crashed bomber.
Yeah.
So we will most probably, we'll be travelling through some farmlands. That means I've got to get out and open the gates. And I'm terrified of cows. So if a cow comes near me, there's no gates going to be open. And then a four-wheel drive track, which will be awesome.
Yeah.
And then we'll go up to Kroombit Tops. I believe the walk to the bomb site is about 2 kilometres,
something like
that round trip. So once again, we're hoping we're not going to have to get the shovel out and bury Cole, but I'm pretty sure he'll be able to make it. Okay, join us. We'd love to have you along.
Yeah.
So we headed out of the Cania Gorge tourist retreat, turn right out of there. Just a short way up the road we turn left and we start to get into some farmland. Really pretty scenery all around here. It's just beautiful farmland, it's cattle properties, and do slow down for the cattle. They make an awful big bump if you do hit them, but yeah, try and keep away from the cows. And as you come along through the scenery, you'll find you'll come across gates. Remember, if the gate is shut, you're welcome to open it, drive through, and then remember to shut the gate once you're finished.
Okay, so we've just come to the Kroombit sign. We just came through this gate, which swings the other way and it goes right back. So if you're on your own, it's a little bit of a challenge to close it by yourself. So we're in the park, in the national park area now. Cole's just letting the tyres down a little bit because the road, even though it looks fine, will most probably deteriorate into a four-wheel drive track very soon. So we have little gadgets that go on our tyres and it just lets them down to a certain pressure. So they're always handy to have. So we haven't seen any other cars at all. So we're figuring it'll be a lovely day on our own up in the mountain.
As you wind your way through this track, keep in mind that it is a dry weather road track. It does have some little water crossings. It hasn't rained here for quite some time and there's still water in some of the puddles here. So if it's been raining rather heavily, probably not a good idea to come through this way. Mind you, it's the only way to get there from Cania. The only other way is to come in from Billawheeler, which is a fair old track away. There are about 3 or 4 gates that you have to go through. Remember, if they're closed, open them for sure to get through and then close them again afterwards. And it's really handy to have a passenger with you to do that job for you. None of the water crossings we came to were deep at all. Not going to have to do a walk through some of these. They're quite shallow, they're not flowing at all at the moment. So just remember, things can change. If you get a big thunderstorm around the place, these can come up quite quickly. And remember that you're on private property, but these are gazetted roads. So yes, you do have the right to go through, but just remember, shut the gates. And seatbelts on. Rose was a little bit scared of the cattle, but they're pretty harmless as long as you don't go do anything stupid. Just open the gates, shut them again, and they're not back in the car and you'll be fine. They may be a little bit inquisitive. So as we enter the national park, we do get into the four-wheel driving, and it is recommended that you do have a four-wheel drive up these tracks. They can be a little bit bumpy. If it's wet at all, yes, you're going to need the high clearance and four-wheel drive. But in dry weather, you can get possibly a normal car up here. It might be a little bit bumpy for you, that's about all. But it's certainly worth the drive, especially when you see this view we come up to.
Oh my God, look at that.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. Holy moly. Now that's a wow in that moment, isn't it? See all the contours of the land and everything.
How's that, eh?
Yeah, Kroombit Tops Lookout.
Kroombit Top.
How do you say
Kroombit Top.
Kroombit Tops Lookout.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Well worth the four-wheel drive track to get up here.
And out there is the Pacific Ocean with Gladstone in the distance.
So we find our way to this rather steep downhill section. Put it in low gear, just let it walk down this hill. It can get away from you if you're not wary of it. So just take it easy on this one. This gets you right down to the car park at the bottom, where we walk to the plane crash site.
Hi everyone, we made it to the bomber site finally after about 3 hours. It's 1.6 kilometres round. No, yeah, it says 1.6 to the bomber site.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to head off and see how we go.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Usually bar, get us up the hill. We made it to the Beautiful Betsy site. We're a bit out of breath, but well worth the walk. The walk isn't hard, just that we're worn out from climbing all over Cania Gorge yesterday. Let's go and have a look. Is that part of an engine?
It's a radial engine, yeah.
Oh. Here's a picture of the plane top. You are standing in front of one of the 4 engines that have been thrown uphill to 100 metres from the point of impact. This reflects their great mass and force of impact that tore them loose from the wings. The distance from the tail section to here indicates the aircraft was travelling at high velocity when it crashed. Various geared components within the engine have actually been driven through each other.
Gee. Yeah, there's just bits and pieces of plane lying all over the ground here. So it must have really hit hard.
Obviously not moved any of it.
No.
It said back on the sign that there was no distress calls, no parachutes, no nothing. It hit so hard, so fast, nobody had time to react to anything. So...
Well, it's good and bad in a way, I suppose.
yeah, very much good. You won't be able to read that. And that's the grid system they use to evacuate the site.
They undiscovered for 49 years.
Holy dooly. So if any of them survived, they wouldn't have been able to survive that, you know, like,
No.
I just hope they all died quickly. specialist unit of Army recovery team from Hawaii spent several weeks here in September 1994. They recovered some skeletal remains and personal effects, including identification tags, personal bracelets, rings, military buttons and coins. That's sad.
I'm glad to see it's all been left here and not pilfered.
Which tells a story. How do you think Betsy crashed? What we think happened. You are now facing the tail section of Betsy over here. It is believed the aircraft was in a shallow descent, having cleared the higher ridge to the northwest. After observing their low altitude, the crew opened the engine to emergency power, but it was too late. Before dawn, Beautiful Betsy crashed mid-section first with her nose slightly lifted in an attempt to climb out of the descent. Time and weather conditions are crucial factors in explaining why the crew were descending before the crash. It is speculated that adverse weather conditions may have forced the crew to descend below cloud, or Betsy may have been experiencing mechanical difficulties.
This is one of the propellers.
We ask you to respect this site and remember it represents an important association between the Australian and the Allied forces during World War II. It is the final resting place of 8 servicemen. Tragedy: Flight Officer Cannon was on his way to Brisbane to be married in 4 days' time, and Flight Lieutenant Cook was to be his best man. That made me go all teary. So sad. Okay, so we walked around the bomb site. It's very moving when you read the stories about the people and how that would have changed their lives, and it's just really sad. And I'm glad we came up. We showed our respects to them. And yeah.
Lest we forget.
Yep, lest we forget.
Where'd he go?
He's right up there, around the other side. Oh, you can hardly see him on the tree. See, he's going towards the fort. There he is. Okay, we're about halfway through the walk back to the car. It's 1.6 kilometres to the site and obviously 1.6 back. The path itself is good. You would have to have a medium level of fitness and wear solid, good boots, and you may need a stick. I've got 2 sticks, but you know, I don't need them, not 2. It's a few steps, not too many, but it is a bit gravelly, so that's why I'm saying wear your good boots. It's a good walk and we enjoyed it. Actually, around the bomber site is all gravelled and you know, proper paths, so it's easy to walk around the site. There's a set of low steps in there, but it's really well maintained and really easy to move around. So overall, if you're a good level of fitness and you're just a normal everyday walker like me, not a hiker, it can be done. Fantastic.
And it's beautifully presented too, the way they've done it.
Presented. And we did have actually a little cry because it was just sad to think that this poor man died 4 days before his wedding, and his poor bride had no idea what happened to him for a very, very long time. They actually discovered the site when there was a burn-off, and they discovered the bomber. And then in 1994, an American team came out and they found all the information about the people who were in that plane and what that plane was. But it's sad to think that they were there for 40 odd years and nobody knew.
So there is only one way into the crash site. That's down the big steep hill that we showed you earlier. But there's actually 2 ways out. You can go back up that hill, or there is a 4-wheel drive track out of here. So we gave the 4-wheel drive track a bit of a go for a while. We ended up finding that, we are alone. There is no other person around. There was one motorbike in the car park, But other than that, we didn't see another person all day. So rather than risk it on our own, we thought, no, we'll turn around and we'll go out the normal way. Probably a smart decision after a story we heard later on, where a husband and wife team had tried their four-wheel drive track. She was out filming, fell over, broke her ankles, and then spent hours and hours and hours on the way to hospital, and then found that the nearest hospital was Billawheeler, and that wouldn't help, so she ended up in Rockhampton. Yeah, would have been in pain an awful long time. So no, probably a smart decision that we turned around. And of course, from this point, it's still 3 hours again to get back to the caravan park at Cania Gorge. So by the time we got back onto the farmland track, the sun was starting to set, and we finally got back into the campsite around about 6 o'clock or so, just in time to have dinner. So, but what a fabulous drive.
Yeah, thanks for watching another video. I hope you enjoyed this one. That was really interesting to see that crash site. It was just amazing.
Okay, what do you have to do, Cole? You have to like and subscribe.
Hey.
Yay! See you at the next one.
Push the button wherever it is.
Push the... Yeah, Cole has no idea. Okay. Puppy, Nanny Rose is going to go and drive through Nolan's. Bananas!